All right, Prince Harry has arrived in London this morning as King Charles steps away from all public duties after being diagnosed with cancer.
Joining us once again this morning is royal expert Patricia Treble. Patricia, thank you for joining us. I know we immediately got on the horn yesterday when we found out the news. Prince Harry arriving in London to be with his dad. Charles notified his sons first, right?
Yeah.
Before this went public?
So he told all his family, including his sons, about the news. And then he's a monarch. He has to tell the prime ministers as well. He's got 15 countries he's head of state of. But yeah, and so this is lovely. I mean, Harry just jumped on a plane. I mean, literally, got the news, jumped on a plane, and landed today. And look, illness has a way of clarifying what is important in life. And I think this shows it. I think it's a lovely gesture for him. You know, there's been a lot of ill will over the years. I don't know how much things will change. You know, people are talking about, well, this is the breakthrough. We don't know. But illness has a way of just putting everything in perspective. And I think that's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, speaking of that illness, the statement from Buckingham Palace yesterday said that during the King's recent hospital procedure for benign prostate enlargement, a separate area of concern was noted. What exactly do we know at this moment when it comes to the King's cancer diagnosis? So
we know it's cancer, and as you said, not prostate cancer. And it's kind of a common thing. This is what happened with Sarah, the Duchess of York. They were, doing breast cancer procedure, and they found some suspicious moles. Turned out to be melanoma. This is the sort of thing that happens. The Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, had said they caught it very early, apparently. We know he started treatment outpatient, but he didn't need surgery, so that's a good thing. And so right now they're just kind of, plugging away. As I said, he is going to be doing all his constitutional duties, all the duties, the paperwork, the voluminous paperwork, the boxes, as they call them, but no public duties. And for a guy who does nearly 500 engagements a year, that is going to be something. But we've been through this with the Queen. Remember when COVID hit, she went into the bubble, and, you can do a lot with Zoom, you can do all that sort of stuff. I imagine they're just now looking at all that.
This development just underscores the importance of routine checkups, and that was one reason why the King was being so open and honest about his health, and how we also know how it's now helped so many, because so many more men were researching prostate and checkups and all of that. Well, this is why you do these routine procedures.
Exactly. And, we all have people, men, who don't like going to the doctor, and you kind of want to shake them and you drag them to the doctor, and you just say, you have to do this, or you have to do the mammograms, the colonoscopies, all this sort of stuff. It's all this preventive medicine that is just so crucial, and this just illustrates it. But boy, they have had a terrible month through the royals.
And as we've talked about in recent weeks, whether it's Charles or Sarah Ferguson being very public with their health and what they're going through, this announcement yesterday by Buckingham Palace, really a striking departure in a lot of ways, Patricia, from the past when the monarch's ailments often kept from the public.
Exactly. Some people have been criticizing it by saying he's not talking about what type of cancer he has, and I think that is his choice. But the fact that he's even saying the word cancer, the fact that he's revealing all of this, is a massive departure. Look, the late Queen and Prince Philip were notorious for not wanting to talk about their health at all. They gave it as little information. Prince Philip, for the last 10 years of his life, was kind of in and out of hospitals every now and again. They never talked about it. It was just, he was in hospital, he was out of hospital. You never knew. And today, this is poignant. Today is the 72nd anniversary of the King's grandfather's death. George VI. He had lung cancer. They turned the ballroom of Buckingham Palace into an operating theater. Never told the public that he had lung cancer and that he was terminally ill.
That's right. So when did the public never find out about that until the very end?
They found out afterward. So when the biography, I think it was when the biography came about. But no, you could see. I talked to my mom. I remember, talking to her about this, and she said you could see him visibly getting weaker and weaker, and he looked like he had a very serious illness. They knew he'd had an operation, but she looked at him and she said, he is dying, but they never announced it. But that is a different time. I mean, we now are living in the era of social media. I mean, the king is obviously out and about far more than monarchs in the past. And so this sort of thing, because he had to cancel all the public engagements. You're going to notice it. So you have to say something. But the fact that he's been so open, I think, is a sign of just kind of the tweaks that are slowly made over time with each monarch.
Mm-hmm. And how the royal family is changing, indeed. There's also, we should note, Patricia, been a tremendous outpouring of well wishes for King Charles from leaders around the world.
This is amazing. I mean, I was looking at them as they were flooding in, and I mean, everyone. I think Vladimir Putin might be the only one who hasn't. And I think it just shows this is a man. He's 75, but he's been on the world stage since basically he was 20. And he has a relationship with all these world leaders. And a lot of them were talking about it. I mean, Joe Biden and Donald Trump talking about how, they've met him, they admire him and respect him. And I think the fact that, so many, just it's a symbol of just the respect and appreciation people have for him.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we will leave it there for now. Thank you, Patricia, for coming in.
You're welcome.